Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special interview session on a special day like this with a special guest on this amazing day. And I'm going to be leaving the introduction to my guest to do because I cannot do enough justice to that. And by the way, if this is the first time you are connecting with me, my name is Adeola Atekoja, and I'm the lead consultant with Lodator Think Media. And by the grace of God, we have been working together with my special guest till now. And I'm happy to announce that today is a special day because finally, Born to Dream is being burned. I have a truly inspiring guest with me, and he's just got his debut book published. And by default, the title of the book, as you can see, is Born to Dream. And I'm excited to delve into his journey and the story behind his book. Congratulations to you again, Doctor, on this special day. And I'm so happy and delighted that finally we have this day. And I want you to just go ahead. How are you feeling? Just let me have a feel. How do you feel on this special day? And tell people about the story behind the inspiration to write this book. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Adeola, for this opportunity, and thank you to everyone listening. It's a great honor, and I feel so elated. I feel so happy. I feel excited that finally I've been able to write, and not just write, but also to publish this book, Born to Dream. It's been something that's been in my heart for several years, and it's quite some time, over a decade now. And finally, we are seeing it come to bear. I believe that it's just the mercy of God that has caused it to come. I come from a very humble background back in Nigeria, and it had been something that is real to me. So Born to Dream is a book that has been inspired by the life that I'd lived. I'd always lived and believed that all things are possible. I've always believed that no matter where you come from, what your background may be like, that with God, all things are really possible. And my life today is a short story of the possibilities of God seen in the life of mankind. So it's a great day for me, and I'm excited.
Wow. Thank you for sharing with us that journey. And I'm so excited too, because I can imagine a lot of people have desired to one day or the other, to have something like this. And a lot of people just write themselves off. And that is why I'm so happy. Like at this stage, some people say, I'm too old. But the journey of writing a book is very remarkable, and I can identify as an author of 2 books now, and more to come. Could you share with us some insight on how how you were able to manage the busy schedule? Because I know you're a pastor, even though you didn't do your introduction to that. But can you just give our audience a little insight into how you were able to balance that phase of you managing your schedule with the writing process?
Okay, thank you once again. That's a very interesting question. Like I said, the book has been in the works for quite some time. And because of my schedule, it's quite difficult for me to write this book. As you have said, yes, I'm a lead pastor of a church here in Baltimore, Maryland, but also I work for a pharmaceutical industry. And it's tasking, that you work full time, and yet you still have time to do God's work full time, as it were. And to find the time, it entails juggling a lot of things. So for me, it's all about my regular schedule, the way my schedule runs. I generally go to bed around 10, 11 every day, or most days, and I'm awake around that 2, 3. So by 2, 3, I have some time to think, I have some time to work, I have some time to pray, I have some time to do some studying up to around 6 o'clock. So it gives me some good time where I'm just there to either write, to either read, to either think, and things like that. So the schedule that I have kind of enabled me and gave me the opportunity so that by the time the day starts and work starts at 8 o'clock, I have the time to fix and give to my work and things like that. So I believe that, God had helped me to rearrange my schedule to give me some time to be able to write the book.
Amazing, amazing. And that is just a little secret that you are letting out there. That for every good thing and great thing we're ever going to achieve in life, it deserves a great planning. And if you don't have any plan, definitely you are planning to fail. And the irony of what you have just brought out is the fact that you didn't just leave this run to randomness, like something that just come on off. You have a schedule, you have a time that you normally set aside to do certain things. And that was how the entire process was able to come to a conclusion. Because I can imagine if with all this schedule you just itemized, it is not easy to be a pastor alone, let alone you still having and the family home, So that's a great one for us to note there. Thank you for sharing. And another question I'm going to be asking you that is quite related to this, the title. I know Born to Dream, Born to Dream. It has a captivating, the way I'm feeling, Born to Dream. It's like it's carrying a lot of weight. Can you share some insight into how you are able to come up with the title and what are the expectations that you want that book to get to people that come across it?
Okay, thank you once again. I must quickly say also that I guess you might get to the question, or you might ask the question. The truth is that for this book to have been written, also I had very good support from my family, okay? And specifically my wife. So in terms of the process of the writing, it took quite some time, but she kept pushing me and asking that, hey, you must publish this book. So that took place. So in terms of the title specifically, we went back and forth, and so I brought her in because she had been part of the process. So went back and forth. The story behind the book itself came from series of sermons that the Lord gave to me, and so based on that, the sermons were woven around the life of Joseph, and I was looking at something around that dreamer, and things like that. And I must say that the title came as an inspiration. Okay. It just popped in my spirit, and it was, well, that is good. That's a good, title. And that was how we agreed to use the title for the book.
Wow. So encouraging. And I also look at the special cover, and the design of the book. Do you have any insight, like, or you want people to, based on that, you can imagine I'm looking at the background and I'm seeing the design of an eye. Do you have anything to share with us on how the overall look of the design and how you come up with that concept for this book, great book?
Thank you once again. You would agree with me that when we are talking of Born to Dream, I'm not talking of you having the dreams that you dream after a busy day. So Born to Dream is actually just getting that inspiration, to go higher, to launch deeper, to become the best that you can. And that is an inspiration that you get. So if you look at the book, you would see an eye, and that eye is specifically open, talking of you having inspiration, having that awareness, having that insight that comes from God, to know the purpose that God has called you to fulfill. So it's open, it's not a closed eye, and that talks of having that illumination and insight from God. But also you will see we have the yellow color there that talks of the plans and talks of opportunities, that are bound. And so when you dream, basically you see opportunities. And you must understand that as you dream, you must pursue those opportunities. So that's the concept of the book, and why you have that perfect, eyes that is opening to see, to envision, to captivate. And I believe that just as you read the content or you see the cover of the book, there will be something that will be sparked on your inside.
What a great connection. Thank you for sharing. I can imagine like the normal sayings that says, if you want your dream to come to pass, you've got to wake up from your sleep. So
Yeah.
I love the concept that for your dreams to come to pass, that is a very great one. Your eyes got to be open to be able to see the dream and begin to see how you're going to work on. And even listening to you as you're talking, it is very inspiring to know. And with the title, with what you've described with the cover, I am seeing that this book is more or less like an inspirational and a motivational book. And can you share with us what are the core messages, the core of what you hope readers are going to be taken away by taking their hands and laying their hands to get a copy of this book?
I want to start by saying explicitly that someone once said that dreamers rule the world. If you can dream, then ultimately you would ultimately be able to achieve it someday. But the book, like I said, was woven out of an inspiration that God gave me around the life of Joseph. And if you look at that story about Joseph, you would realize that that was Joseph's life is woven around his dreams, and he pursued those dreams and ultimately realized the dreams. So as I began to ruminate over those stories, God gave me an acronym based on the word dream. And the first D is dare to dream. Most people are afraid to dream. Most people are afraid to open their hearts and see that the world is theirs. Most people are afraid to open their minds to see that they can actually conquer the world. So the first thing is for you to dare to dream. We serve a God who dreams. We serve a God who, in the midst of nothingness, was able to see that there is something about this world much more than the darkness and the gloom that he saw. So the first thing is you must dare to dream. Irrespective of your background, irrespective of the things that you're coming through and the things that are coming against you, you must dare to dream. The second thing, R, was release yourself. Even though some people dream, you find that they are stuck. They can't really believe that I am the one. How can I be that prime minister? How can I be that senator? How can I be that doctor? You must release yourself. If the Lord is showing you something, it's not because you can, it's because he can. And if you agree with him, you will be able to. Then the E stands for, encourage yourself. So fine, some people want to, they see that inertia in releasing themselves. You must encourage yourself. No matter what you're going through, you must encourage. We live in a difficult time where people really, really cannot see that things are possible because of the environment. But you must, really encourage yourself to live your dreams. I come from a family where nobody had traveled, as it were, nobody had moved out. But that did not stop me from believing God that what I saw on my inside in terms of, studying in one of the best public health universities in the world is possible. Coming, out to release myself to actually see that dream is possible. Even when I had several instances where I tried to and the door was shut against me, I still encouraged myself. I picked myself up and pursue that dream. And then I also said the A stands for act to the size of your dream. If you are believing God for something big, come on, release yourself, act to the size, pray about it, confess it, day and night, begin to see it possible. And then the last thing I said about that acronym is M, maintaining the life of a dreamer. You need to keep on dreaming. There is no height you will get to and say, hey, this is the limit. No, come on. There's something higher. There's something better. There's somewhere you can always get to. So the book is woven around this theme. We had people also that have lived the life of dreamers and achieved and attained it. So there are examples of such people in the book also. So generally the story is woven around the life of Joseph, and I'm sure it's going to be inspiring, just picking it up and reading the book.
You're almost letting all the gems out, and I'm feeling it as we are just releasing. You are giving us that motivation. And one of the things I appreciate the way you are sharing is the fact that the world, like you have currently described at the moment, is in need of leaders, of dreamers, just like you have rightly mentioned. So it is a call. I'm seeing you giving a clear call to everyone that dares to listen, that there is a boundless realm of opportunities for everyone to be able to realize the opportunity and the extraordinary destiny that God has put in them. And the only way to start is to dare to dream. Thank you very much. You have almost answered the next question I wanted to ask, and I was going to relate that. Can you share any moment or any aspect of this? Maybe in your own personal life, can you share any instance? Because I know this book is more of personal growth, and you are trying to share most of it, like you design that, regardless of whatever my background is, that's going to be what is going to define your own definition of height in life. And that, can you share with us any area whereby this was made real, like strongly influence that perspective for you to dare to dream in your own life too?
Okay. Thank you once again for that question. As you asked the question, I just had a flashback regarding how I started. In terms of some of the things, opportunities or the dreams that I had in my heart, and how doors were closed against me, and things, it seemed as if it was not going to be possible, but God did make them possible. So early in my life, I read dentistry at the University College Hospital in Ibadan, and I had shortly afterwards, believed God I was going to study public health, and so that was one thing I was looking for. So I got admission, for example, to King's College London for my public health, and because I knew I didn't have the money to pay for the fees and things, so I applied for a part-time program, and when I got to the visa interview, the man asked me, and I'm, a rookie novice guy, he asked me, why are you applying for a part-time program as an international student? And I said, I'm going to work to pay my fees, And the man said, oh, really? Okay. I'll do that to you. You sound, intelligent, but I just have a hunch. And so they kept my passport with them for a month. And after that, they stamped it rejected and, came back. And soon after that, I didn't give up. I applied again to one of the best public health schools in Sweden, Uppsala University, and I was given admission again. And after I applied, back and forth again, and I got to the interview, and the man said, well, okay, but just give us we need to still do some further investigation. And then after 2 weeks, I think he got back to me and said, well, your school has started and it's now past 2 weeks. Unfortunately, the school says you can no longer come because admissions had already closed. And then, so finally I went, applied to Johns Hopkins University, and I was given admission again, the top public health school in the world. And
wow.
Here I am, got there, for an interview again. So I always showed up, no matter what it was. I always believe I could. So I went from one best school to another best school until I got to the best of the best, But I didn't shut myself. I didn't say I wasn't qualified. It wasn't because I had the finance or the funds to pay for my fees, no. But there was something in my heart that just could not be held bound. I just released myself, and here I am today. Several years, decades have passed, and I'm giving God glory for what He's done.
Wow, thank you for sharing that story with us. So awesome. Like from one rejection to the next, to the next. And one of the beauty that those seemingly call rejection or failure, like people will like to label it, does for us is it creates inside of every one of us an opportunity to see what we can tweak and what we can do better. But it is the reality that if you never attempted at any point in time to further reapply because of the first rejection, I'm very sure we will not be here today. Maybe our paths will not have crossed.
That's true.
And so that is very, very encouraging. And thank you for sharing. And to everyone out there, I want to encourage us that the fact that you have failed is a sign that you are living. And is a sign that you are I want to encourage you that you're a doer. Anybody that does nothing, they are not going to fail at nothing. And when you fail at nothing, you're more or less dead. You are not aspiring, you are not trying. And that is why I love the fact that despite all the rejection, today, Born to Dream is alive. Thank you very much. I know our people listening might be already watering their appetite to know how best, where are they going to get a copy of this book? Because I can't wait to learn it. Can you share how the book can be? Where can people lay hand on the book? Because I know definitely we are going to be having a launch soon. But how, from now till the date, how can people go ahead and get a copy of the book?
The book is has been released and it's open for purchase on Amazon, so you can pick it up from Amazon. Basically, I think that's where it is right now, for you to buy and enjoy the reading of the book.
Thank you very much. And I know to our audience that are really, really loving what they are hearing, and they would like to be an author someday, and they will want to write their own book. Can you share perspective or insight on what they can do so that they also can be able to replicate this feat?
So regarding the book, one of the things also I didn't mention, so since you asked that question, is that for aspiring authors, please also look for the help of professionals. Okay? So I'd mentioned the fact that I wrote the book, of course, but I needed people that are professionals in that field to help me edit, look at the content review, format the book and things like that. So also partnering with a content editor, or as you can see with Lodetta Publishing company, is something that I would ask you to do, because you need help. You need someone to help you walk the ropes. So Lodetta Publishing assisted me through the process, and thank God it's out today.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And I know, because of what you said before now, I want to say, are there other people you would like to acknowledge, or who also played a significant role in this journey that you have yet to mention?
Yes, I would like to acknowledge specifically my wife. Like I said, the book has been in the offing for quite a long time, and I will write a little and just stop. And then she will ask me, this year you're publishing that book. I'll say, okay, this year you're putting it. Now that I'm turning 50, it was a target that was hard set, and there was no way we could move that target. I said, hey, at 50, you must publish the book. So I want to say thank you to my wife. I want to say thank you to my children. They also played a big role in the book. I want to say thank you to Ihotu for the role she played also, and also to members of Mercy Court who also have listened in and heard the message, and I'm sure had been a blessing to them.
Wow, amazing. Wow, I love that. Thank you also for sharing. You know that behind a great achievement like this, there are people. And the fact that you mentioned your wife, I'm so happy that she was able to show up and give you the necessary motivation you need to give that a strong run. Because ideally in life, anything we don't start cannot finish. But along the line, when we've seen situations and circumstances that kind of keep us stuck in a particular journey that we've planned and we have a mark we want to get to, and having people that are around us who can keep us in check, who can remind us of the why, and who can keep us on our toes to make sure that eventually we get to the end of the journey. It is very important. And I also want to say a very thank you to her too, on how we met and how we were able to finally conclude this journey. It's a remarkable one. I want to appreciate her indeed. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Mommy Rose. I appreciate your great work. Thank you for being a pillar behind the scene. And also, if you have met her, she's a very, very, what I would describe her is like a gentle river that flows with majestic flow. You see her like somebody that is very unassuming, but you are hearing from the horse's mouth that she has what it takes to keep you on your toes until you deliver what you are meant to do. And I'm so happy that today this conversation is happening because somebody encouraged you. And so also, like Pastor has just mentioned, every journey we want to embark in life, there are people that have gone through that journey. There are people that already, that feat has become something they've left. They've already achieved. And that is why in the beauty of how God has made us, we are made in such a way that we will always have reason to depend on each other. We are interdependency. So what I'm going to be needing doctor for in certain regard, based on how God has graced him, is different from what we'll be wanting, will be needing or requiring me for. So that is how God made every one of us unique, and we're all relevant and we are personalities. And so for you out there, if you also want to do anything regarding writing, publishing, and launching your book, you can always talk to us. And it will be our delight to walk you through that journey too, so that you will not be among those people that are called the old kept secrets, and they are yet to bring out their gift to impact their world. And as we wrap up on this special interview with Pastor John Itakpe, I want to say that every one of you out there, as you have heard, the link to get this book, just go on Amazon and just type Born to Dream. And you are right away, you'll be getting yourself a copy of this book. And I'm going to encourage you, once you get the copy, please remember to put a review on what the book is all about and how it has helped you in your own journey, in your own life, and regarding whatever thing you have set your hands to do. And before I round up, is there any other thing you would like to share with us, Pastor John?
I would just want to say once again a big thank you for all the work you've put in to ensure that we have an excellent, good quality book out there in the press for everyone to read. But I also want to talk to everyone in the world that there's something in you that you need to let out. You are here for a purpose, you are here for a mission, and you are not just a figment of an imagination or something that is just going to be, pass by. There is something that you must leave as a deposit or as a legacy here on earth. Release that because time is short and you don't know when you would leave the scene. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much. To our listener and to everyone that get a copy of this book, the book is live and available on Amazon and also on Okada Books. And I want you to join me in appreciating this great piece and this great work that has been put together to affect the mind of this generation for good. I believe that every message that is in that book is for every one of us out there, that we are still lingering, or that we are still unsure, or we are still doubting if ever we ever have anything inside of us to share. And I tell you, if you look at yourself today, if there's anything you have desired to share, if there's any grace you have, if there's any gift you have, and you have not yet started using, you've not putting it out there to help make our world a better place, that is the challenge for you. That you have to sit back and open your eyes and bring out the concept and bring out that message, because every one of us has a dream inside of us that our world is waiting to hear. And I can't stop appreciating you once again for this great work, sir. Thank you very much. And so that is it for now on this short pre-launch interview with the latest author in town. And as we speak, the book is top rated, is the leading in the categories of Christian's literature. And I encourage you guys, go out there and go and pick your copy and put the review. Because together what we are doing is we are celebrating hard work. We are celebrating a life that is devoted at putting everything inside of him out there to bless and impact his world. And that is the beauty of the world. That's what makes our world beautiful. When every one of us share what we have with our world to make it a better place. And I encourage you and challenge you to go and do so. So until I see you next time, thank you for watching. And please go ahead and follow Dr. John on all the social media handles. Is John Itakpe on social media, on his Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Please go ahead and join him in celebrating this artwork and getting a copy. Thank you for watching. It's bye for now.